Imagine working 7 days a week, sometimes for 16 hours a day, on a floating five-star hotel that costs $150,000 a week to rent. The guests are billionaires. The standards are extreme. The tips can be life-changing. Welcome to the world of luxury yachting. Hello, and welcome to What Do You Actually Do? The podcast where we explore the fascinating and often misunderstood jobs people have, and we learn English through real conversation. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're going to Monaco on the French Riviera. Our guest is Isabella, who has worked for the last 8 years as a chief stewardess on luxury private yachts in the Mediterranean and the Caribbean. Isabella, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Alex. Thank you for having me. I am between charters, so the timing is perfect.
When you tell people you work on a luxury yacht, what's their reaction?
Most people picture me sunbathing on a deck with a glass of champagne. The reality is that I have not sunbathed on a yacht in 8 years. I am the one bringing the champagne, and then cleaning the glass, and then ironing the towels around the deck. The job is glamorous from the outside and absolutely nothing like that from the inside.
So what does the chief stewardess actually do?
I am the head of the interior team on the yacht. The interior team is responsible for everything inside: guest service, housekeeping, laundry, food and beverage service, flower arrangements, table settings. I manage a team of 3 to 5 other stewardesses, depending on the size of the boat, and I report directly to the captain, and I am the main point of contact between the guests and the rest of the crew.
So you are basically running a five-star hotel.
A 5-star hotel that floats and moves to a different country every 3 days. Yes.
How does someone end up doing this?
There is a clear path. You start as a junior stewardess, what we call a stew. You need basic certifications, STCW, which is the Maritime Safety Qualification, plus a few hospitality and food service tickets. Most people start by getting hired through an agency in a yachting hub, like Antibes in France or Fort Lauderdale in the United States. From junior stew, you work your way up over years to second stew, then chief stew. Some go even higher into yacht management on shore.
What about your background?
I trained as a hotel manager in Italy, worked in 5-star hotels for 3 years, and then I met someone at a wedding who worked on yachts. They told me about the lifestyle and the salary. I was 26, single, and adventurous. I quit my hotel job and signed up with an agency in Antibes. Within a month, I was on my first boat.
How did the salary compare?
Substantially better. As a chief stew, I earn between 7 and 10,000 euros per month, plus tips. Tips can be enormous. For a busy charter season, I can take home an additional 30 to 50,000 euros in tips alone. I have no expenses on board. No rent, no food, no transport. I save almost everything I earn.
Tell me about the difference between a private yacht and a charter yacht.
Private yachts are owned by one person or family, and they sail the boat for their own use. The crew works for them all year, even when the boat is sitting empty in port. Charter yachts are rented out by the week to different clients, often with the owner only on board occasionally. Charter is more intense. Every week is a different family with different demands and preferences. Private is more stable, but you serve the same family for years.
What does a typical day look like during a charter?
I wake at 5:30 a.m. By 6 a.m., the boat is being prepared. Fresh flowers and vases, breakfast set, decks washed. Guests usually wake around 8. Breakfast is served. At 10, we move to the next anchorage. Lunch on the deck at 1. Afternoon water sports, paddle boards, jet skis, snorkeling. Cocktails at 6. Dinner at 8, often elaborate. Late night drinks until midnight or later. Then I prepare for the next morning. 6 hours of sleep on a good night.
6 hours of sleep every night for 10 weeks straight.
Yes, charter season runs from May to September in the Mediterranean. We typically host 8 to 10 consecutive charters. The crew is exhausted by the end. We sleep for a week when the season finishes.
What kinds of guests do you have?
Almost always extremely wealthy people. Business owners, royal families, celebrities occasionally, discreetly, government officials. The vast majority are kind and respectful. A small minority are demanding in ways that test your patience. We're professionals. We treat everyone the same.
What's the hardest part of the job?
The pace and the standards. Everything must be perfect at all times. Guests are paying tens of thousands of euros per day. They expect their breakfast to be exactly the way they like it, the temperature in their cabin to be exactly right, the towels to be folded a specific way. There is no room for error. The mental load of keeping all of that organized is huge.
And the personal side?
Living on board with the same crew for months at a time, we are 9 or 10 people on a small boat. There is no privacy. Conflicts that would blow over in a normal office become enormous on a yacht. You learn to manage people very, very carefully. Drama on a yacht can sink the season.
What about the best parts?
2 things. First, the places. I have woken up to the sun rising over the Greek islands, dropped anchor in tiny Caribbean bays no tourist will ever see, watched fireworks over the harbor in Cannes during the film festival. I will never forget those views.
And the second?
The team, the crew become your family. We work, eat, sleep, fight, laugh together for 8 months a year. The friendships I have made on yachts are the most intense friendships of my life. I was a bridesmaid at 3 crew weddings last year alone.
Do you have a memorable story?
A lovely one. We were chartering in Croatia, and one of the guests, a quiet older gentleman, mentioned at dinner that his grandfather had once been stationed on a small island during the Second World War. He remembered the name. I went to the captain, we adjusted our route the next morning, sailed 40 miles out of the way, and dropped anchor at the island. We took the gentleman ashore in the tender. He sat on a wall for an hour, looking at the village, with tears in his eyes. He had never been able to come before. When he came back on board, he hugged the captain and me, and he said, "This was the best moment of my entire life." He left a tip that paid for my brother's university tuition.
Wow!
We do this work for many reasons, but moments like that are why we keep doing it.
A funny story?
Many. Here is one. We had a billionaire guest with a very specific request. Every morning, he wanted exactly 1 perfectly ripe avocado sliced on toast with a single small flower on top, edible flower. Each morning for 2 weeks. The chef and I sourced flowers in 3 different countries to keep this going. On the last morning of the charter, the local supplier ran out. The chef and I literally swam to a small island near where we were anchored, climbed onto the rocks, picked wild edible flowers we had identified the day before, and made it back to the boat in time to plate the avocado. The guest had no idea. He left a €100,000 tip for the crew. The flowers were worth approximately 15 cents.
You swam to an island for 15 cents of flowers?
We laughed about it for the rest of the season. Now, whenever something seems impossible, someone says, just go pick the flowers.
For someone listening who is thinking, I could do this, what's your advice?
3 things. First, get the certifications properly and join a reputable agency. The yachting world has a lot of agencies, some good, some predatory. Use the established ones in Antibes or Fort Lauderdale. Build relationships with them. They are your career. Second, your attitude is everything. The yachting industry is small. Word travels fast. One difficult crew member is remembered by every captain in Antibes. Be professional, be kind, be hardworking. The doors keep opening for the people who behave well. And third, save your money. The income is high, but the career is short. Most people do 5 to 10 years and then move ashore. Save for the future. The crew who fail to save end up sad in their 40s. Save aggressively from your first paycheck.
That is excellent advice. Isabella, thank you so much for sharing your world.
Thank you, Alex. Pleasure.
That was Isabella, a chief stewardess on luxury yachts. Now let's review some useful vocabulary. First, charter. To charter a yacht means to rent it for a period of time. A charter yacht is one that is rented out regularly, often by the week. Second, crew. The crew are the people who work on a boat or ship. On a yacht, the crew includes the captain, deckhands, engineers, chefs, and stewardesses. Third, anchorage. An anchorage is a place where boats can drop anchor and stay safely. Yachts move between many anchorages during a charter. Fourth, a tender. A tender is the small boat that takes guests from a yacht to shore when there's no dock. It's like a taxi for the water. And finally, galley. The galley is the kitchen on a boat. The chef works in the galley, even though it is much smaller than a normal restaurant kitchen. And that's it for today's episode of What Do You Actually Do? A huge thank you to Isabella. Join us next time when we go from the open Mediterranean to a small workshop on a tiny island in the Venice Lagoon. We're meeting Maria, a glassblower whose family has been making Murano glass for over 400 years. Until then, take care.